Alrighty, folks, coming at you guys today with some post-game commentary over a Feng Mao game that I actually recorded back in the 1.0 patch. So this is about a week old gameplay now, but internet's been down here for a couple days, so I haven't been playing much or recording any new videos. Whenever it does come back, we'll get up the spreadsheet video for Rampage. But as for right now, we're going to give you guys, or we're going to record this. I don't know when it'll be up, but it'll be up whenever internet returns. So here you go. I figure I'd do some post-game commentary over it because there were some good takeaways to be had from this game. Playing Feng Mao in solo lane. You can see we've got a double Aurora ban. Both teams taking Aurora off the board here. No surprise, she's been a hot ban or pick for a while. Just nobody wants to play against her. The CC is too insane. She's still good after the version 1.0.2 patch, so check out my... Oh, this is back from when I was in Gold 3 still. I'm in Gold 2 now, but man, it's hard to get out of Gold 2, I'm going to be honest with you. Anyway, check out, by the time this video is up, the Rampage video will be up. And also check out the version 1.0.2 hero tier list, so you can see where Feng Mao ranks on that. Spoiler alert, he's still up there pretty high because Feng Mao is still very strong. So we're hopping in here, trying to figure out what first item we're going to go with. It looks like we are against a Greystone. So I'm kind of thinking, what do I want to start with here? Do I want to start armor against Greystone because of the ticks on his circular ability, or do I want to start damage? So we want to start Mutilator, realistically, if we can, so we can get some sustain in lane to go, because Feng Mao is pretty strong in lane. He's stronger late game when you're using his kit to teleport around, or using his strong mobility to try to get multi-kill assassinations or dive the back line or whatever it may be. So, and he doesn't have any sustain in his kit outside of the shield, which isn't really sustain. It's just kind of, mitigation for pokes or trades. So we're going to try to get Mutilator up first here, but you got to build to your opponent in solo lane. I think that's one of the big takeaways that I want to have from this game is you've got to build to your opponent. Solo lane is probably the most important lane for that, as you're out here kind of on an island most of the time. So first wave is here. This Greystone is wearing the level 7 skin, does have the crown on, so this is a pretty proficient Greystone player. And Greystone's not exactly the most meta solo laner, but he is easy to play. He does have a lot in his kit going for him. My Grux is coming over here early to look for this Greystone at a level 1 gank, because he started blue. So we get Greystone's blink there. Grux follows him up and sticks to him. And I didn't realize that Grux was going to dive that deep on him, so I did not follow it up, unfortunately. So Grux was probably upset about that, but he says okay in the chat, so it's hard to tell if... Yeah, there it is. There it is, folks. Good game. So yeah, that's generally how a lot of your solo lane is going to go. If you don't do exactly what the jungler thinks you should be doing, they will just kind of give up on you, which is fine. The way I play solo lane is I expect for no one to ever come gank. Like, I expect my teammate, my jungler, to never show up. So, if they want to show up and get a kill, then that's fine. If not, then, it is what it is. Crunch was waiting right there on the other side of the fog wall for me as I was going to ward, so... He does hit me, but he doesn't get anything off of me. Now, a Grux is saying attack Cyan buff here, so I'm going to roll over here for it. Really didn't need Grux to come over here and try to help me with it. But Crunch and Greystone are still in the area, so at least he did make an appearance there. Since Crunch was still over here, I probably could have got jumped on there and CC chained by Grux, even though he's only level 3. So Greystone's back after basing here. I haven't backed yet, so I'm kind of getting low on mana. This crunch is still sticking around, so it's kind of spooky. But I'm always happy to see their jungler camp solo lane because I want them to not be able to go help the other lanes. Especially when I'm playing somebody with good escapability like Feng Mao. I would love for their jungler to waste as much time as possible, you know, following me around. I give him the missing left call because Greystone was looking at mid there. And now I'm getting really too low mana to stick in lane for too much longer, so we are going to go ahead and take a back here. Looking at Mutilator, first item. You know, like I said, I'm trying to get some sustain up. You can get the Bloodletter tier 2 off of Mutilator. And then I had a little extra gold there, so I went ahead and bought the tier 1 mana regen item just so that I can potentially stay in lane a little bit longer. You know, with the Bloodletter, you get a little bit of Omnivamp. You get a little bit of Omnivamp from your Warrior starter as well. You know, a lot of people will go the Rogue starter. And the Rogue starter is very good on Feng Mao because it gives you extra execute threshold. And it can, you know, give you a little bit of extra damage a little earlier. But I like the Warrior Crest for the sustain. You know, it just depends on what item you want to build it into. This Greystone is freezing lane right here close to his tower. You see, I thought about the teleport there, but generally the way I want to use the teleport is if I'm on the back side of wave, I want to teleport back towards my tower rather than teleporting into him like that, because then I can get stuck pretty hard without, and I have to use my actual blink to get out. So yeah, if I'm back on this side of wave is when I'm usually trying to use the teleport. Kind of wait for them to push me and then teleport through it just like that. And then that way I can get the damage on wave, I can get the damage on them, and if they want to turn and chase or if the jungler pops out, I'm in a better position to get away. So just a little tip for you there. I mean, don't use your teleport too aggressively unless you think you're going to be able to all-in somebody. So right here, same deal. I'm generally positioning on the back side of wave like this, especially against someone like Greystone that has a big AoE damaging ability. And then that way I'm already facing the way I need to teleport out if something goes down. So we're keeping good pressure on this Greystone. That Bloodletter tier 2 lifesteal item is keeping me basically full health. And I'm not taking too many trades with his AoE clear. See, it's still 0-0 at the 6-minute mark, 6.5-minute mark. So both teams playing pretty cautiously. You know, it is ranked. Generally, you will see a lot of people playing pretty cautiously early, as games have been going pretty long, and everybody's just trying to set up for the late game. And that's what it looks like is happening in this game as well. Everyone playing pretty cautiously. They do have a crunch jungle, so I mean he's going to take a little while to get going. And both of them spent a lot of time at the early levels in solo lane, so clearing wave pretty fast here with that just that tier 2 Bloodletter. Feng Mao's hamstring clear is very strong. Crunch is coming at me there, so I have to blink out. We can just go ahead and double blink, even though it was probably not necessary. And then I just jumped back down in here to chase the Grux the Crunch because our Grux was coming down solo lane. He says attack Cyan buff, so I'm gonna head over there with him and make sure that I get it because Grux does not need it. But you know, appreciate him showing up. I'll tell him the thanks again. You know, it's hard to tell what your jungler is expecting from you at solo lane, but anyone who's willing to show up for these green buffs, I guess, is cool. Rex has now decided to stick around. Looks like he wants to look for the tower here potentially. Yeah, I mean, we're not really going to be able to push the tower down with Greystone coming back like that. Their Crunch ends up getting the first blood. I hit my ult here, but Greystone was already in his ult, so I couldn't get any damage on him there. Could not get the execute off. And then we force... Countess says 8 minutes, 0 ganks mid. So yeah, I mean, that's the downside of your jungler pushing the solo lane. I really am never a fan of junglers babysitting solo lane because it's really the least important lane. If you're a good solo laner, you should be able to play from behind or ahead. So it's not necessary that you come babysit my lane or anything, and that's why I said earlier, you know, I prefer when the other team's jungler will set here and focus my lane, because it means they're not getting anything done anywhere else. So we buy some more items towards Mutilator. We're now at 600 gold, so I don't just want to let that gold sit around. So we're going to go ahead and buy the tier 2 mana regen and armor item, since, you know, with the crunch and a Greystone over here, most of the damage I'm going to be taking is going to be physical from them. And most of the reasons that I'm having to back here is being out of mana, not out of health. So might as well try to stick in lane a little bit longer if I can.
Okay.
Giving them the missing left call here, because I don't know if Greystone backed or not. But there Greystone is. So we're going to dip into here. Greystone's just been freezing lane right at his tower line, so might as well just take the opportunity. Since I do have the Omnivamp from Bloodletter, I can more efficiently you know, clear a jungle camp like this, clear a 3 camp like this, and then get back to lane before I miss too much from the Greystone, because he's freezing it back there anyway. Now Crunch just came through, or just showed himself right there. Yep. I was looking at mid lane in case I needed some help, but they ended up not needing any help to get that Iggy, so we'll just roll right back over and ward that stairwell that Crunch was looking down. Here, I thought he was going to go for green, so I figured I'd show up. He's doing a lot of damage, so there's not much that I can do to him here. Just kind of slowing him down some. Wanted a challenge for that green. Now here I'm checking what, I checked there briefly what he's got. Oh, and Crunch shows up on me, so we have to blink out. Crunch blinks onto me and hits his CC combo. And then Greystone is going to dive tower. And an ult is not quite able to get me. And he is going to get out of there even after ulting 1 hit. So here I'm just hoping Countess doesn't overcommit on this Crunch and Greystone, but it looks like she is. You know, I would have helped her if I could, but I barely made it out in the first place. So, and we're again just short of being able to get Mutilator, but I end up not buying anything because I just want to get Mutilator online as soon as possible. It's really the only way. Yeah, see here I was thinking I'll just leave base, but nah, I'm gonna have 750 gold. I'll just come back and get Mutilator. Mutilator is such a big damage spike, and the huge amount of Omnivamp that it offers means that I can trade more, I can box more, and not have to worry about it. This Greystone is building lifesteal at this point off of Sky Splitter. We'll see if when I open that menu back up for the scoreboard, if we can see his build that he's going. But he's going Sky Splitter lifesteal, which means I need to get anti-heal on pretty soon, or else I'm not going to have much ability to box with him. Crunch, again, just setting over here. It's just setting over here right on the other side of the fog wall. He should be focusing mid and stuff more, but he's just not. I also have not rotated out of lane yet. He uses his Ice Scorn, so I went ahead and teleport through wave there, and then I pop my Ice Scorn to make sure there's no way he can catch me. And our team's all grouped up on Feng. It would have been nice if I could head over there, but we do end up getting it. Giving him the missing left call because Greystone is is coming to that fight. And the retreat call just to try to clear up that, hey, Greystone's gonna be there. He's gonna try to clean you guys up. I gotta follow him over here, or else, you know, I'm risk losing too many of my teammates. So, and just like that, we were able to catch out the Greystone. Try to hit the second ult on Iggy, but he does Aegis there, so it's all good. We end up getting a beneficial trade out of that, taking out 2 or 3 of them and securing the Fang, just losing Grux on our team, so definitely a great trade for us. And now we'll get a little bit of extra farm in solo lane before the Greystone returns, so it's looking up here for me. I mean, the kill count is 7-5 here at the almost 15-minute mark, so very slow game overall. I mean, very cautious game from both teams. Now you see here, I'm actually getting low on mana, or below half, even though I've already built that tier 2 physical armor and mana regen item. So, you know, Feng Mao is still very mana hungry. And here I'm looking at getting Horned Plate, the tier 2 portion of the Tainted Guard item up before I am going for finishing Elefrost, because that Horned Plate tier 2 is what will give me anti-heal for a really cheap price tag. It'll give me the anti-heal that I need to deal with this Greystone. It won't give me the bleed tick damage that Tainted Guard gives you when you have it fully built. But, and Greystone is just ganking on mid lane there, so that's kind of unfortunate. I say careful mid lane, but you know, Countess is getting pushed back hard. But now that I've got Tainted, or not Tainted Guard, but the Horned Plate up from Tainted Guard, I should have no problem boxing this Greystone, because he's been relying on his Sky Splitter healing. Now I'm looking right here because it looks like Crunch is looking at him, so just in case Crunch is going to come over, I wanted to take a look, see if I could potentially get somebody as well. Steel goes in at a good time here, and I am able to hop in, hit my Ice Scorn, and then boom! Catch Zinx right at the edge of my ult. He gives the attack orb prime call there. I don't know if he really meant to go, if he really meant that call or what, because it's a weird call. I'm just making my way back over to left lane here to check out the Greystone again and make sure he's not doing anything too crazy. Grux is able to stay over there with our duo and take out the Murdoch, which is nice. It keeps us rolling, as well as their tower, so that's the first tower take from either team. Oh no, their team already got our mid lane tower, so Iggy is a force to be reckoned with, I guess, because I know Crunch hasn't been in mid lane that much. Greystone's still missing from over here. We're just going to finish off this tower, get our team some extra gold. They're saying attack or prime still. We just hit the Ice Scorn and then teleport through wave to get away from this Greystone. And then Drongo also gave the call that he was on his way to Orb, so looks like we're going to group up on Orb here. It's just mini Orb, so it's not that consequential or whatever, but we'll help them burn it down and try to put our team a little bit more ahead. Grux does end up getting it, so that's fine. Greystone looks like he wants to come over here and do something. I am a level up on him, and I now have that Horned Plate, so he's not going to exactly get healing. So we stick to him a little bit again here. We go for the ult again, but of course he's going to ult at the same time, so nothing to be had. Drop our Ice Scorn Talons to slow him down a little bit on his attempt at escaping, as well as hamstring him, of course, and then they end up cleaning him up, no problem, because we had 4 people there still. So now we're in a good spot here. I mean, it's 10-5. We've secured a Fang. We've secured a mini orb. I'm just looking at getting some more items online. I'm at 2,600 gold now after them the gold bonus from taking that mid lane tower, and then boom, over 2,700 from getting gold from getting green buff here. So plenty enough to finish Elefrost. I like to build more of a tankier Feng Mao. I know some people like to build a kind of like full flat pin Feng Mao, which is very good. It does give you a really high execute threshold and lets you do a ton of damage and delete the carries or dive the backline more effectively. But in this matchup, we had a steal and a Grux, so I figured I would just kind of that's rough. We get 3 of our guys taken out there in that deep dive on right lane. They secured the Fangtooth, but then they just kept diving. And generally that's, I'm more of a fan of take what you can get and then get out, rather than chase them all into their jungle. Because you chase them too deep into the jungle there, we lose 3 people in that engagement. So it puts us back to 10-8 on the kill count. Pretty rough turnaround, but we did get the Fang first, so not too bad. I see that they placed a ward right there that popped up, so I know somebody's lurking right around here.
An allied tower is under attack.
And then I see that they're actually on orb for some reason, which it just spawned. But they do have 3 people here. I'm going to take out all of Iggy's turrets and drop the Iceborne Talons right here in the spot where it's going to be hard. I hit my ult there, and Crunch is able to get a little bit of healing before that ult actually can execute him. Now I target Murdoch because he is the carry. He's going to be the one that's dealing the most damage here, so wanted to try to get him out. Grux was diving deep, so we just probably should have followed him up a little bit better, but me and Steel end up coming around here. Iggy hits the Aegis, but it is not going to be enough, and the ult. But it is not going to be enough to get us. So I'm going to go ahead and use my double blink there just to make sure that he doesn't get out. And we end up swinging that team fight around, despite the fact that we did lose Countess and Grux in it. We made them pay for it. And we prevented them from getting Orb, which Iggy is a really good objective taker, so no surprise that they were trying to sneak Orb there, but after they got the 3-kill team fight earlier, but it was a long rotation from basically their blue buff to get the whole team onto Orb, and by the time that they did that, our team was all back up. So we're now going to be able to get Tainted Guard online, and now we're looking at a magical armor item because we've already got physical armor, so we're going to go for Void Helm to boost our healing. See, I prioritized the health rather than the magical armor first, because the only people that they have that are doing magical damage is the Iggy and the Zinx, and then of course the Crunch is doing a little bit with his passive and stuff. But the fact that I have 2 physical armor items up already, and then I'm getting extra health here. Steel just diving that cyan buff, whatever, brother. You're welcome to it. I'm up, so no big deal. And at this point, with 2 physical armor items up, all I have to do is basically avoid Iggy, and I can 1v1 anyone with Elefrost slowing them down and Tainted reflecting extra damage onto them and a huge health pool. I mean, setting at almost 2,300 health pool. The kill count is still very even for how ahead we kind of are in this game, having 2 Fangtooths. Zinx is able to catch out our Grux with the Greystone rotated over to duo lane. We're going to chase down this Iggy some, hit the Iceborne, burn her Aegis, and then just kind of let her back off because she was hitting me pretty hard. I have actually 0 built magical armor at this point, so it's kind of a tough 1v1 for me to get. But while they're all over there distracted in duo lane, I tried to take that opportunity to clear their 5 camp in jungle. It was not there. So I'm just going to take the time to push this tower instead, because it looks like everyone is in right lane now except for Greystone, and this Greystone cannot 1v1 me, I don't think. With my armor built at this point and a huge wave of minions to help me, there's no way he can do anything to me. They're saying attack Fang. I'm going to hope that Greystone stays pushed to his tower or takes a while to clear a couple waves so that I can actually go help them with Fangtooth, because, you know, at this point, if we secure the 3rd Fangtooth out of 3, we're in a really good spot. They were trying to get it with Crunch and Iggy. They actually had about half health already, so it was a good thing that the team showed up when we did. We secure the 3rd Fangtooth. We get a permanent 8% power and armor, which is really nice. And at this point, it's going to be hard for them to catch us, even though it does look like the kill count is very even and the tower count is very even and everything. 3 Fangtooths is a huge advantage. They wanted to attack Orb here. I'm usually not that big a fan of attacking Orb, but we did get Crunch and Iggy during the Fangtooth fight, so the only person they have that can really contest it would be, like, you know, Zinx showing up with the whole rest of their team. So essentially a free orb, especially since the team is willing to group up on it like that. And we do take the orb down, no problem. Now here, Grux is looking to chase. I'm not really, you know, it's going to be kind of hard to catch Greystone out with his mobility, so we're just going to clear, get back to lane and clear a little bit. We are full health and mana, so don't need to base. Our team is like doing some weird team fighting and grouping in mid. Some people are saying retreat. Because I mean, a lot of our team backed after that orb, so I just went and got a little bit extra farm before I decided to back. Now we'll grab everything except for Void Helm, and then we'll realize that we're going to have enough gold here anyway to finish Void Helm. So with Void Helm on top of the Mutilator healing, you know, you're in a really good spot for your sustain. Having 2 physical armor items up as well, that both give you health, has given me incredible survivability here. You see, nobody's really like blowing me up or bursting me down. Now that they really have a big burst mage in mid. I mean, they have Iggy, but you know, if Iggy's got a couple turrets down and Crunch catches you in a CC chain, you're probably going to be in trouble. I teleport in here, and we both drop our Ice Horns. We end up getting the execute on Zinx there, and boom, we get a second execute. Now here I'm just spamming the execute out into the team fight because our team caught them all out. We got Orb, so like we're doing a lot more damage than they are. Murdoch catches a couple of us with that big ult there, and it does actually get us pretty low. Our steel blinked out, but he had tick damage on him from the Iggy, so he ends up going down, but we make her pay for it. End up getting their whole team in that team fight. And now since we're here, we can push down the mid tower. And they're saying attack mid lane, and Drongo and Countess are just pushing the core. I'm saying careful mid lane because we don't need to do that. There was no need to do that. You know, Grux was already over here on right, so I just came over to help him get right. So I don't know. I mean, we maybe could have ended there, but they were all like, they were about to respawn, and we only had one inhibitor down. Drongo saying we could have ended there in the chat, and yeah, I mean, we could have won. Yep, Countess. Yep. So I mean, of course they're gonna say that they were the ones that went in. Fang and Grux, where are you at? Oh my gosh, we could have ended. Well, we could have ended, yes, but at the same time, we could have just took right inhib and then get our whole team out safely, get items, and then guarantee that we're gonna win because we're so far ahead. So, you know, Sometimes I'm good to go for the reckless dive of core, but right there was just no need, you know. I mean, not if we can get a second inhib for free, and we didn't have our steal, so I mean, obviously if steal was still up there, would be fine. Crunch tries to catch me here on his 5 camp, but I mean, I'm like 3 or 4 levels over him at this point. You know, and I have black buff for the movement speed. I'll go down there and poke the cyan buff so that steel can get it easier. And yeah, the movement speed here from the cyan or from the black buff and having blue buff, I mean, I'm just staying full mana and I'm zooming around. Black buff finally expires there, but got a lot out of it with my rotation through their jungle. My Fang just spawned, so keeping an eye on it. Don't want them to go for it. Not necessarily that we need to get it, but hit Ice Scorn here because I know that I can basically box with this Greystone, and I've got my whole team here to help me if anything goes wrong. Teleport back towards them, assuming that this Greystone is going to follow. He does, which I don't know why he would do that. I guess he's overestimating his ability there because he is able to ult and stay alive for an extra second, but it's not like it was going to keep him alive long term. Our team's doing a much better job of grouping up, as you can see, which is really what's given us the lead here. We hit the double blink in to see if we can catch somebody out. It does force Iggy to Aegis. So, you know, Iggy's cooked there 100%. And now that we have all 5 people here, and 2 inhibitors down, and minions pushing in from 2 sides, now we go for the end. So there was no need to rush it earlier. We were ahead and we were in a very advantageous position, but we do end up closing it out there. Great game overall from our team, even though it was pretty even most of the game in the kill count. Our team ends up being the team that can group up on objectives better. I go 6-0-7. The Greystone went 2-4-5. Yeah, pretty good overall from our team. We'll take a look at the post-game stats here. I did 18k damage, which is definitely not nearly the most on our team, but pretty good overall. I mitigated 28, which was the most on our team. So despite us having a steal that I'm assuming was pretty tanky, I actually mitigated more overall. We also placed 13 wards there, and Steel placed 21, so we had them massively in the ward department, as their Zincs only placed 5 wards, which is crazy. So good overall from our whole team. I think very, very successful match, of course, for me and Feng Mao. I'm not a huge Feng Mao player, but you know, sometimes you know, he is very strong right now in the meta, so you will have some good matches with him if you just practice with him a couple times or get a favorable matchup. I don't know if I would say Greystone is the most favorable matchup, since his ult can basically prevent you from being able to execute him, as you saw a couple times in that gameplay. But takeaways from this game: group up on objectives. You know, if your team in solo lane, it's important to look for when the Fang Tooth is coming up. If Fang Tooth's coming up and you have the chance to rotate, then go for it to try to help your team, give your team a man advantage at the objective, even if it means that your tower is going to take damage or you're going to lose, you know, lane XP because the other solo laner is going to farm more efficiently than you. Just try to go help them if you can. They didn't need too much of my help this time because our Grux was kind of on it, but try to help them if you can. But also the bigger takeaway is build to your opponent. You know, when I saw that Greystone was building Sky Splitter and going for lifesteal, even though sure I would love to have Elefrost finished, and maybe it's more efficient to finish the Elefrost first, I went ahead and grabbed the Horned Plate tier 2 item from Tainted to give me that anti-heal that I need to be able to box with Greystone and push him out of fights, or, you know, better win a 1v1, because if he starts wailing on me and sticks to me hard in a 1v1 and I don't have anti-heal, I'm not even going to be able to take his health bar down low enough to get the execute threshold. So thanks for watching, guys. Keep playing Feng Mao. He's really good right now, still after the version 1.0.2. Check out the tier list that I put out. I'm assuming it'll be by last Friday, but like I said, I don't know when this video will go up because the internet is still down here. But check out that version 1.0.2 tier list and see where Feng Mao is on it versus where Greystone is on it. I think they're about where you would expect. You know, Feng Mao is still near the top. So thanks for watching, guys. We will catch y'all in the next one.